You also said that you, in fact, would not recommend that kids get vaccinated. Are you recommending the measles vaccine or not? You told the public that the vaccine wanes very quickly. You went on the Dr. Phil show and said that the measles vaccine was never fully tested for safety.
Let's hop into a fiery back and forth on the congressional floor between Chris Murphy and RFK regarding vaccines and just overall health. So if you can, start by leaving us a like. It helps us out tremendously. We really appreciate it, and it's totally free, and we'll hop right into the discourse.
Are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
What I've said and what I said...
It doesn't sound like you are, if that's...
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to keep interrupting?
Are you not?
Are you going to let me answer? What I pledged before this committee during my confirmation is that I would tell the truth, that I would have radical transparency. I'm going to tell the truth about everything we know and we don't know about vaccines.
Are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
I am not going to just tell people everything is safe and effective if I know that there's issues. I need to respect people's intelligence.
I think you're answering the question.
I just wanted to start here, despite it actually being at the end, because I do think it is the most telling thing that could have happened in this entire video. Anything but an unhesitant yes should be utterly disqualifying for the director of HHS. The efficacy of the measles vaccine is quite literally no longer debated in science. Science is pretty important to health. If you don't follow science, you probably shouldn't be leading the health department in America. Measles was all but eradicated in America because of the vaccine. Before MAGA hijacked this anti-vax movement, we're now in conservative circles where people are not vaccinated. We are seeing spikes in measles cases. The measles vaccine worked at like a 98 or 99% efficacy. There are literally no dangers to report here. There is, oh, we don't know this, or oh, this might happen. It's RFK Jr. looking at settled science, decades of data with no merit, no qualifications to do so, and saying, nah, I don't trust it. I'm going to hire my quack doctor with financial incentives to lie about vaccines to push his quack elixir instead. It's genuinely frightening to see in charge of our healthcare system.
You also promised Chairman Cassidy that the FDA would not change vaccine standards from, quote, historical norms. But what happened as soon as you were sworn in? You announced new standards for vaccine approvals that you proudly referred to in your own press release as a radical departure from current practice. And experts say that that departure will delay approvals. You also said, specific to the measles vaccine, that you support the measles vaccine, but you have consistently been undermining the measles vaccine. You told the public that the vaccine wanes very quickly. You went on the Dr. Phil show and said that the measles vaccine was never fully tested for safety. You said there's fetal debris in the measles vaccine, and this morning—
All true.
This morning in front of—
Do you want me to lie to the public?
That's not— none of that is—
Of course it's true. Of course it's true, Senator. Senator, begging your progress, you do not know what you're talking about.
This is such an insane claim to make because, like, for those who don't know, vaccines, before they reach the market, go through 3 phases of clinical trials at different sample sizes. It's like in the tens, then in the hundreds, then in the thousands. They go through a 4th period of longer study to evaluate it over long periods of time. They will then test the manufacturing facilities and equipment, all while sending that data to outside sources to verify it from the clinical trials. They ensure that each lot of the vaccine is consistent. That just means that it is exactly the same no matter where it is made. This is all before it reaches the market. It is then sent and evaluated by the FDA, by a biological products committee. This is, again, all before reaching market, where once it does reach market, every consecutive batch made after reaching market is still tested for safety. Continual research is done on those who take the vaccines. Literally nothing in the world goes through such rigorous testing as vaccines. And the fetal debris point is also really dumb, and it kind of like misses the truth here. A cell line was derived from the tissue of one elected abortion in the 60s, and that cell line has been like mutated and things like that to be used as a median to grow the virus. So we're not, using like humans. The cell itself isn't even used in any vaccine. And also, it's cells, like, what you scratch off your arm. It's not like a piece of a fetus or anything.
You also said that you, in fact, would not recommend that kids get vaccinated for measles. You said you would just lay out the pros and cons. Okay, so this is the summation of everything that you have said to compromise people's faith in the measles vaccine in particular is contrary to what you said before this committee. You said you support the measles vaccine. but then you have laid out a set of facts that are contested, and I will submit information for the record from experts who contest what you've said about the vaccine. And the result is to undermine faith in the vaccine. It's kind of like saying, listen, I think you should swim in that lake, but the lake is probably toxic and there's probably a ton of snakes and alligators in that lake, but I think you should swim in it. Nobody's going to swim in that lake if that's what you say. And so I want you to acknowledge that when you say you support the measles vaccine and then go out and repeatedly undermine the vaccine with information that is contested by public health experts, that is not supporting the vaccine.
This is just another example of how Trump's cronies have lied to Congress in order to get confirmation votes, or I guess more or less to just seem legitimate to the masses who won't tune into anything else they do outside of like their answers in the confirmation votes, because it's not like they had to curry Democratic favor, but only to like instantly go back on everything that they promised in these hearings. RFK has used his position to undermine vaccines consistently and in a way that's never been seen before, with now some quack doctor heading a study on if vaccines cause autism, something that is really stupid if you know anything about autism or have ever met an autistic person. The idea that you could be fine and then you get a shot and now you just got smacked with autism is that's just crazy, but it's also just settled science, right? Meanwhile, cancer research is getting defunded. Planned Parenthood is getting defunded. So our healthcare is literally going from, focusing, at least in the public sector, focusing on researching cancer, finding cures, something we've made tremendous progress on, by the way, focusing on women's healthcare, something that is life-saving in millions of instances. By the way, 60 rape victims are denied abortion access every single day now. Something I also wrote an article on, top link in my description if you want to check that out. But we're done focusing on these things to now focusing on, do vaccines cause autism? Something that was settled decades ago. What does this say about the state of America on the global scale? Does that even matter to MAGA anymore? Because it should, and it kind of makes us a laughing stock.